The Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle has had a storied career in the WWE. Debuting all the way back at the height of the Attitude Era in 1999, Angle was a clean-cut, celebrated amateur wrestler and an American hero when he appeared for the first time on Sunday Night Heat. On the show, heel Tiger Ali Singh offered Angle $500 to blow his nose on the American flag, but Angle refused and attacked Singh to a roaring ovation from the crowd. Angle made his first WWE Wrestling televised debut at the Survivor Series, coming out to the theme medal, a theme he still uses today, and defeated Shawn Stasiak and remained undefeated for a number of weeks. Angle presented himself as the WWE's role model, encouraging others to follow the 3 I's: intensity, integrity, and intelligence, but after negative reactions from the crowd, he quickly turned heel, where he boasted to being a real athlete and questioned the fans, asking them, "Where are your gold medals?" Angle's career took on from there, and after winning both the Intercontinental and the now defunct European Championship, he would eventually go on to winning the WWE Championship, defeating The Rock at 2000's No Mercy pay-per-view. By 2002, he was already a Grand Slam champion, winning the Tag Team Championship with Chris Benoit. Throughout his career, Angle would win the World Heavyweight Championship as well as 3 more reigns as WWE Champion. He was also 2000's King of the Ring winner, and in fact the only thing left to achieve, other than winning the women's title, was winning the Royal Rumble. Even though Angle was still a top WWE superstar in 2006, he was unhappy with his position on WWE's B-show ECW and was working hurt. WWE would not let him take the time off, and as a result, Angle requested his release, ending an 8-year relationship with WWE. He would sign with TNA, showing no signs of winding down his career as he fought harder than ever, holding the TNA World Heavyweight Championship 6 times, as well as other titles. After last appearing in the WWE in 2006, 11 years later, WWE announced that he would be inducted into that year's Hall of Fame class and returned to WWE television the Raw after WrestleMania 33. Angle would not return in a wrestling capacity, as Vince McMahon appointed Angle as Raw's general manager. He would eventually be cleared by WWE doctors to wrestle, but his current run has been largely depressing. Angle would wrestle more frequently in 2018, taking part in WWE's World Cup tournament and wrestling on weekly Raw programming, but he would endure a number of heartbreaking losses. Matches would merely end in a few minutes as Angle tried to give it his all, knowing full well he was up against wrestlers in their prime who could outperform him in every way. This run, however, will be Angle's final one, as he announced on this week's edition of Monday Night Raw that he will have a farewell match at WrestleMania 35. With the crowd shouting "Thank you, Kurt" in an emotional segment on Raw, Angle said, "I want to thank each and every one of you. You made it so fun for me. I literally had the time of my life." His long and illustrious wrestling career might suggest that he has nothing left to accomplish, but the truth behind his retirement is far more upsetting. It's no secret that after over 20 years of wrestling professionally, Angle has put his body through some serious testing. In fact, you'll be familiar with Angle mentioning numerous times he won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. He wasn't joking either. 5 months before the 1996 Summer Olympic Games, Angle suffered an almost career-ending injury at the trials, severely injuring his neck, fracturing 2 of his cervical vertebrae, herniating 2 discs, and pulling 4 muscles. The injury not only set back his training, but it started an addiction to painkillers. His neck would never be the same after the injury, and surgery was required again as his neck problems worsened throughout the years of wrestling and travelling on the road, not getting enough rest. Terrifyingly, Angle would even complain of his arm going numb while performing. Surgery meant, however, that he would be off the road for an entire year, which meant that Angle would miss WWE's biggest show of the year, WrestleMania, something he was an integral part of as he was WWE Champion. But knowing that he owed a duty to Vince McMahon and risk paralysis, Angle put off surgery until after WrestleMania, where the title could be given to Lesnar. He mentioned the importance of not letting Vince down. "It was something I just had to do. I couldn't leave Vince McMahon and the company hanging like that. I had a duty as a performer to suck it up." Luckily, thanks to the new developments in neck surgery, Angle didn't need to undergo neck fusion, which meant he didn't need to take much time off. It didn't mean that Angle was going to take it easy though, as he was still performing almost every night, showing no signs of slowing down his performance or his addiction. He was also lucky to be alive, as he confessed he was taking a mixture of up to 65 painkillers a day to cope with the pain, as he was still wrestling full time. It was so bad that WWE reportedly pleaded with Angle to get help, but when he refused, they released him, hence his career in TNA. There his addiction worsened, and he was accompanied by a number of run-ins with the law. The thing is, everybody drank down there in TNA, so I started drinking with my meds, and then I started manipulating my meds. I would save all of them until the evening and drink it all with alcohol, and it got me into a lot of trouble, 4 DUIs in 5 years. Angle would clean up his act and find sobriety in 2013, and of course this helped him come back to the WWE, where he would be cleared by WWE's doctors to wrestle again, but unfortunately he would be a shell of his former self in the ring. He was far less mobile in the ring, not even able to stand up straight. It wasn't apparent during tag matches, but when Angle was booked in singles competition, it became more and more obvious that Angle just could not go in the ring, and whilst age can be a contributory factor, the main culprit was the years of punishment he put his body through. This was evident in his match against Baron Corbin at a WWE live event in San Antonio. As the Wrestling Observer noted, the report we got is that this was a bad match, which is kind of sad since Angle bell to bell was an all-time great. He looked hurt and moved slow. The original plan was for Angle to put over a number of rising stars on the roster, and whilst he did that with Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre, it wasn't in very convincing fashion, and it was obvious that he couldn't put over as much talent as WWE wanted him to do. Many sources reported that WWE had given up on him and took him out of various plans. Backstage, Angle looked to be much worse, with reports suggesting he even has trouble getting out of his car. Brad Shepard mentioned on the Oh You Didn't Know podcast. Now Kurt Angle can barely move. I'm told he moves like Mick Foley backstage. You know, standing still he looks pretty good. You can see that in the ring. But when you watch him, I'm told getting in and out of his car is unfortunate. So Kurt Angle is not in good physical shape at all, and is on his way out of the company. While he probably isn't on his way out of the company, Angle himself even admitted he is unable to perform at the level he once did, saying, "It was really tough for me to come to that decision. It actually has been nipping at me for the past year. I'm 50 years old. I know I'm not the same as I used to be. I'm slower in the ring. I can still get the job done, but if I can't perform at the Kurt Angle of 2006, I don't want to perform at all. You finally know when your time's come, and you've got to make a decision, and I've decided that I want to keep my legacy intact, and I think that retiring is the best decision for me." Angle will be wrestling his final match in WWE and possibly the last match he'll ever have at WrestleMania 35. But who should his opponent be? Which one wrestler deserves the opportunity or right to be his final opponent? Multiple superstars come to mind, and it usually involves those who are obviously on the current roster. But it has to be someone he shared a rich history with, someone he is notably feuded with in the past. Former WWE Champion and future Hall of Famer The Undertaker comes to mind, as both were heavily involved in the resurgence of wrestling during the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression eras, and not only that, they feuded with each other on a number of occasions and had a phenomenal match at No Way Out in 2006. There was also talk in the past that the Olympian would be the first one to defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, ending the streak prematurely. The only problem is that The Undertaker's mobility in the ring is only slightly better than Angle's. Plus, there doesn't seem to be any sign of The Undertaker wrestling at all at the show of shows this year. Alternatively, we would like to see the 16-time WWE Champion John Cena come up to the plate to challenge Angle at Mania. Those who were watching during the Ruthless Aggression era might recall Cena's first ever official match in the WWE was against Kurt Angle in 2002 on SmackDown Live. The Doctor of Thugonomics may have even fueled speculation that a match at Mania could be on the cards by posting a photo of a young Kurt Angle on his Instagram page. John Cena is also booked for WrestleMania, so there is a high possibility that he could be his opponent. While other much younger superstars could benefit from the win, none would carry the same sentimental value as John Cena. But who should be the one to retire Kurt Angle in your opinion? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.